All the staff stayed away from the mean billionaire until the new waitress was brave enough to face him. What if being kind could change someone who had forgotten how to treat people nicely? At Rosewood Diner, a warm family restaurant that had been serving the town for 30 years, everyone got nervous every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. That's when Harrison Blackwell would show up in his dark blue Bentley, talking on his phone, already yelling orders before his fancy Italian leather shoes stepped onto the old floor. The 39-year-old tech boss had made billions of dollars by being mean, and he treated the restaurant workers like they weren't even there. Carol, who had been a waitress for 22 years, would hide in the kitchen when Harrison's car arrived. The other workers would suddenly find important things to do in the back, leaving whoever was unluckiest to deal with his mean words and impossible requests. Nobody thought that everything would change the night a gentle woman named Lily started her first night of work, bringing with her a quiet strength that would change not just one man's evening, but his whole life. "Where are you watching from tonight?" Lily Martinez had taken the job at Rosewood Diner because she needed the money, not because she wanted to. At 34 years old, she was a single mom trying to rebuild her life after her husband died 2 years ago. Her 8-year-old daughter Sophia needed a stable life, and the diner's evening shift meant Lily could be home for breakfast and help with homework before work. She had worked in restaurants before, back in college, and she knew how to deal with difficult customers. What she didn't know was that Harrison Blackwell was worse than anyone else. "Listen, honey," Carol whispered during Lily's training, her old hands nervously fixing her apron. "When the man in the expensive suit shows up on Tuesday nights, just stay away. Trust me on this. He says really mean things, and he treats us like we're nothing. He orders the salmon, always complains it's cooked too much, never leaves more than a 5% tip, and makes whoever serves him feel about 2 inches tall." The other workers nodded sadly. James, the cook who'd worked there for a very long time, shook his gray head. "I've seen grown men quit after just one time dealing with that guy. He's got more money than anyone, and less kindness than anyone." Lily listened quietly, but something inside her chest tightened. She'd spent the last 2 years learning that life was too short to be mean for no reason, and she'd promised herself she would never again let anyone make her feel small. Her late husband Tony had always said she had a spine of steel wrapped in velvet, and she was beginning to remember what that meant. When Tuesday evening came, everyone at the diner got nervous and tense. The other waitresses kept themselves busy with extra work, and Carol made sure to seat all her other tables far away from Harrison's usual spot by the window. At exactly 7:00, the Bentley pulled up, and through the glass doors walked a man who acted like he owned not just the restaurant, but the whole world. His dark hair was perfectly styled. His suit probably cost more than most people's monthly rent, and his face looked like everyone around him was bothering him. The evening that would change everything was about to begin. Harrison walked straight to his usual table without waiting to be seated, his phone call echoing through the quiet diner. "I don't care what the shareholders think, Rodriguez. If they can't handle the heat, they shouldn't have invested in a tech company. Now, fix the quarterly projections before I have to fix them myself." He snapped the phone shut and looked around impatiently, expecting someone to serve him right away. Lily watched from behind the counter, as the other workers suddenly became very interested in cleaning things that kept them far away. Carol gave her a warning look, but Lily was already reaching for her order pad. Something about the man's loneliness caught her attention. Under all that loud behavior and expensive clothing, she saw someone who ate dinner alone every Tuesday night, surrounded by people who were afraid of him. "Good evening," Lily said warmly, walking up to his table with the same real smile she gave every customer. "I'm Lily, and I'll be taking care of you tonight. Can I start you with something to drink?" Harrison looked up surprised. Most servers walked up to his table like they were going to something scary. This woman, small with kind brown eyes and gray hair that suggested she'd learned a lot from life, seemed genuinely happy to see him. For a moment he didn't know what to say. "Coffee, black, and I want the salmon, but tell your cook not to ruin it like he did last week. I don't have time for people who can't do their jobs right." His voice had its usual sharp edge designed to show he was in charge right away. Lily nodded calmly, not scared by his tone. "I'll make sure James knows you like it prepared just right. How would you like that cooked? Medium or medium rare?" "Medium rare, obviously. And I want the vegetables actually seasoned this time, not just steamed into tasteless mush. Can your kitchen handle that, or should I expect less?" Instead of running away, hurt and scared, Lily stayed calm. "Absolutely. James has been cooking here for over 15 years, and he takes real pride in his work. I think you'll be happy with tonight's meal." Harrison stared at her, not used to anyone responding to his rudeness with such calmness. There was something in her eyes, not fear or anger, but a quiet strength that reminded him of someone from a long time ago. As Lily walked toward the kitchen, Carol hurried over. "Honey, you don't understand. That man will be really mean to you if you give him any chance. He's made 3 servers cry this month alone." Lily smiled softly. "He's just forgotten what it's like to be treated with kindness. Sometimes people need to be reminded. If this moment touched your heart, please give the video a thumbs up." Nobody knew that Lily's gentle way was about to open up something Harrison had kept locked away for many years. When Lily returned with Harrison's coffee, she noticed him staring at a small photograph tucked partially into his wallet. Before he could hide it, she saw a young boy with Harrison's same dark eyes laughing on a swing set. The picture was worn around the edges, like it had been touched many times over many years. "Your son?" she asked gently, setting down the coffee with steady hands. Harrison's face got hard instantly. "That's none of your business. Just bring my food and keep your thoughts to yourself." But his hand shook a little as he pushed the wallet into his jacket pocket, and Lily saw the flash of pain that crossed his face. She could have walked away then. Every other server would have. Instead, she pulled out the chair across from him and sat down for just a moment. "I lost my husband 2 years ago," she said quietly. "I know what it's like to carry a hurt so deep you think being mean to others might somehow make it hurt less." Harrison's jaw tightened. "You don't know anything about me or my life. Get up and do your job before I speak to your manager about you acting inappropriately." "His name was Tony," Lily continued, her voice gentle but strong. "He was only 38 when the cancer took him. Left me with our daughter in a world that suddenly felt too big and too empty. I was angry for a long time. Angry at God, angry at the unfairness. Angry at people who still had their whole families when mine was broken. I almost let that anger turn me into someone I wouldn't recognize." Harrison's calm was breaking. "Stop, just stop talking and bring my food." "The boy in the picture, he had your eyes. How long has it been since you've seen him?" The question hit Harrison like someone had punched him. His carefully built armor of meanness began to fall apart, and for the first time in 8 years he almost started crying. He's not my son anymore. His mother made sure of that when she divorced me. Said I cared more about building my business than building a relationship with my family. She was right." Lily reached across the table and gently touched his hand. "Children forgive more easily than we think they will. Sometimes we just have to find the courage to ask." The restaurant had gone completely quiet. Even from the kitchen, James was watching this amazing scene happen. Have you ever faced something like this? Let us know in the comments. Harrison Blackwell, the man who had scared workers and controlled business meetings, was about to face the most important decision of his life. Harrison pulled his hand away, but the damage was done. 8 years of buried sadness and regret came flooding to the surface. "You don't understand," he whispered, his voice breaking. "I missed his birthday parties, his school plays, his baseball games. I was always working, always chasing the next deal, the next billion. By the time I realized what I'd lost, it was too late. He was 12 when the divorce was finished. Now he's 20, and he won't even return my calls." Lily's eyes filled with care. "What's his name?" "Christopher, Chris." Harrison's voice was barely heard. He wanted to be a chef when he was little. Used to stand on a stepping stool in our kitchen making scrambled eggs that were mostly burned. I used to complain about the mess instead of celebrating his creativity. "And now you come here every Tuesday night," Lily said softly, understanding now. "Eating alone, pushing people away before they can disappoint you or leave you. But honey, being alone isn't protection. It's just another kind of dying." James came out from the kitchen carrying Harrison's salmon, but he stopped when he saw what was happening at the table. This wasn't the same show-off businessman who had criticized his cooking for months. This was a broken father who had lost his way. "Your meal, sir," James said gently, setting the plate down with unusual care. "I made sure it's prepared exactly the way you like it." Harrison looked up at James with new eyes. I owe you an apology. I've been terribly rude to you and everyone here." "You didn't deserve that," James nodded, his own eyes watery. "We all carry burdens, sir." "No apology needed," Lily stood up slowly. "Harrison, it's never too late to try. Love doesn't have an expiration date, and children, even grown ones, need their fathers. Maybe it's time to stop punishing yourself and start rebuilding." Harrison stared at his untouched salmon, then reached for his phone. His hands shook as he looked through his contacts, stopping at a number he'd memorized but never had the courage to call. "What if he hangs up? What if he doesn't want to hear from me? What if he's been waiting for you to call?" Lily asked back. "What if he's been hoping his father would finally choose him over pride?" If you've been enjoying this story, subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming tales. Harrison took a deep breath, and for the first time in 8 years, chose love over fear. 3 months later, the Tuesday evening routine at Rosewood Diner had completely changed. Harrison still arrived at 7 but now he came through the door with a smile, always stopping to say hello to James in the kitchen and ask about his granddaughter's soccer games. The Bentley's passenger seat was no longer empty. Christopher had started joining his father for their weekly dinners, their relationship slowly healing over shared meals and honest conversations. "Dad, you should have seen Lily's face when you offered to pay for that family's entire meal last week," Christopher said, cutting into his own salmon. He'd grown into a handsome young man with his father's intelligence and his mother's gentle heart. "I think you made her cry happy tears." Harrison chuckled, a sound that would have been impossible just months earlier. "She changed my life, Chris. I want to change other people's lives too. It feels good. Really good." Lily walked up to their table with warm coffee refills and her trademark smile. "How are my two favorite gentlemen tonight?" "Actually, we have some news," Harrison said, his eyes sparkling. "Chris is going to culinary school in the fall. He's decided to follow his childhood dream after all. And Dad's funding a scholarship program for single parents who want to go back to school," Christopher added proudly. "He's calling it the Second Chances Foundation." Lily's eyes filled with tears. "Oh, Harrison, Tony would have loved that. He always said the best way to honor the people we've lost is to love the people we still have more strongly." As the evening wound down, Harrison left his usual small tip and instead placed 5 crisp $100 bills on the table. "For the scholarship fund," he told Lily quietly, "and to thank you for reminding me that kindness isn't weakness. It's the strongest thing in the world." After they left, Carol shook her head in amazement. "In 22 years of waitressing, I've never seen anything like it. That woman worked a miracle." Lily smiled as she cleared their table, finding a handwritten note underneath the bills. It read, "Dear Lily, thank you for seeing the father in me when I'd forgotten he existed. Christopher and I are planning a camping trip next month. Our first real vacation together since he was small. You gave me back my son and taught me how to be human again. With endless gratitude, Harrison. P.S. James's cooking has always been excellent. I was just too bitter to taste it." The transformation of Harrison Blackwell became legendary in their small town. But Lily never saw it as anything miraculous. She'd simply treated a hurting person with the kindness she wished someone had shown her during her darkest days. Sometimes the most important changes begin with the smallest acts of grace. A gentle word, a listening ear, the courage to see past someone's armor to the wounded heart beneath. If you enjoyed this story, please remember to like, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more heartwarming tales. Thank you for joining us tonight. And remember, it's never too late to choose kindness over bitterness, connection over being alone, and love over fear. Until next time, may your own heart remain open to the possibility that everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. And sometimes your kindness might be exactly what they need to find their way home.